When my mom was in the early stages and we were all so confused as to what was going on with mom before testing or anything, I started searching for answers, and I found it was really hard to really find out what is going on. Why is she telling me these stories 3 times in one conversation? Or why does she think it's 8:30 a.m. when it's 8:30 p.m.? She would confuse me, and then I don't know if I was going through denial and fear, but I would kind of rationalize why she did what she did. So that was actually several years. And then when she got the diagnosis, I was disappointed that all we got was the diagnosis and not really any support other than call Alzheimer's.org. So we used that line. We talked to those volunteers a lot. And there just wasn't enough concise and helpful education and information. It was all the clinical stuff. You're at this stage and you can expect that, but there wasn't really anything to do about it if there wasn't a specific medication or pill that they could prescribe. Through that frustration, getting those answers and what do we do, and is she okay, is she safe at home, is she, all these things that we were figuring out. The plus side to that was that my brothers and I were able to communicate and get along and figure it all out and handle the finances and handle the, putting mom on a limit of a spending limit on her card, all the different things that go on this journey, which you well know. So my passion was to communicate and to help other families not struggle like we did in the beginning. Granted, that was, late 90s, early 2000s when we were confused. Mom was diagnosed in 2003, and that information still wasn't as helpful as it could be. And now I find out with working with my clients, they're still not always getting a good direction with that diagnosis. So that's what has caused me to create Dementia 411 in providing those resources for families and allowing them to not go down the searching rabbit hole and getting confused as to what really they should do specific to their parent, sister, loved one. And my passion will come through in producing interviews with experts and just allowing you as an individual family to explore what's best for your loved one, allowing you to feel that sense of power and control and a sense of being able to do something, not just sit and wait for the next symptom to appear. I love working with the families and learning from them as to what direction they could seek. It could be supplements, it could be just getting mom out of the house and going on a walk or going somewhere to an activity. I love helping families learn how music and humor can really lighten that load and help that journey. I'm here for you as a resource to help guide you on this journey and be the resource that my brothers and I couldn't find, that we struggled through. What I wish I knew at the beginning was that this journey could be long, it could be short. Every patient is different. And with my mom, I was busy. I had kids in college, kids in high school still, and you get busy with your own life. So what I wish I would have known was how the cognition could change. And you get to the point where you're asking your mom a question and she can't remember the answer. So getting that information up front, as soon as you get that diagnosis, just having light conversation. It doesn't have to be a Q&A with mom, but what's that recipe for the blah, blah, blah that I love so much? Or what's your favorite thing to do? Simple things that you need to know later because they can't communicate. So as an example, what do you take in your coffee? Usually you know something that simple, but when they can't communicate and then they drink the coffee and they don't like it and they just shove it away, you don't know why. It just doesn't taste right and they can't communicate that. So that's just a simple example. But spending that time not focusing on the work commitment or the reason that I needed to be the one that was the dance mom behind the scenes, and that some of those things my mom needed to be a priority, to spend time with her and invite her to come do all those things. Heck, she was a dancer, so she loved being in that environment. And that's just the key kind of emotional, heartfelt part that was hard for me to look back on without regret. I'm just here to explore the answers to the curious questions that you're seeking. Please like and subscribe so I can continue to support you. Thank you.